In this segment, we will discuss the intracellular signals for apoptosis. Apoptosis, as we know, is triggered by a number of family of specialized intracellular proteases. Remember, the proteases are the proteins and the enzymes. They are always involved in the cell signaling process. Now, what these intracellular proteases do? They cleave specific sequences के स्पेसिफिक जो सीक्वेंसेस हैं इन प्रोटीन्स उनको वो फाड़ देते हैं, उनको वो तोड़ देते हैं, which are inside the cell, and thereby they bringing about the dramatic change that lead to the cell death and the engulfment. Zahir hai कि when cell dies, we have already studied that those dead cells, they are engulfed, वो use हो जाते हैं by the other cells so that they don't disturb the tissues. Now these proteases, they have a cysteine amino acid at their active site and cleave their target proteins at specific aspartic acid conjunctions, and they are therefore called Caspases. जो aspartic acid protein के उनमें है sequence में, they break at that aspartic acid level. Now Caspases, they are synthesized in the cell as inactive precursors. Zahir hai कि if they are active precursor, they will start degrading or cleaving those enzymes, but initially they are synthesized in the cell as inactive. वो inactive होते हैं, उस वक्त वो काम नहीं कर सकते, but they are activated only during apoptosis. When the cell is under the process of death, they become active. There are two major classes of apoptotic Caspases. One is Initiator, and the second one is Executioner Caspases. That is the initiators. Those are the enzymes, as the name implies, that they initiate the process. And the second is which carry out those processes, as we can see in this cartoon, that how these Caspases activation occurs during the apoptosis. There are the two initial initiators, then they join together in a large molecules, and again they start the cleavaging the different proteins which are there, and so apoptosis or the cell death occurs. Now, initiator Caspases, as we have seen previously, they are, as their name implies, begin the apoptotic process. Death का जो process वो शुरू करते हैं. They normally exist as inactive, as already described, and they are soluble monomers in the cytosol. Cell के cytosol में they occur as the monomer, एक यूनिट के तौर पे होते हैं, but then they become joined together. And apoptotic signal जब आता है तो it triggers the assembly of large protein platforms that bring multiple initiator Caspases together. जो कि multiple initiators हैं उनको करीब ले आता है, उनको जोड़ देता है, and they become together in a large complex molecule. Now, the second Caspases which are executioner, जो कि ये cell death का काम करते हैं. So the major function of the initiator Caspases is to activate the executioner Caspases, जो एक्सिक्यूशनर कैप्सेजेस है उनको वो क्या करते हैं, दे एक्टिवेट देम एंड दे नॉर्मली एग्जिस्ट इन द इनएक्टिव डाइमर. जो पहले हैं इनिशिएटर, दे एक्ट एज they occur as monomer, but the executioner they normally occur as the dimer, those units. And when they are cleaved, जब वो अलग-अलग होते हैं by an initiator capsases at a site in the protease domain, protease के जो domain है उनमें जब they act, the active site is rearranged to attain an active confirmation. ये दोबारा रीअरेंज हो जाती है, दोबारा रीअसेंबल हो जाती है to activate the domain. Just as shown in this cartoon, that there are CAD, inactivated, activated, and DNA fragmentation during apoptosis, that is the endonuclease, which is known as CAD. How on the upper side you see that the CAD, it breaks away and the active CAD is released, which acts on the DNA fragmentation, जो कि उसको फाड़ने के काम आती है. Now there are over 1,000 proteins that are cleaved by Caspases during the apoptosis. हजारों प्रोटीन्स हैं जिनके ऊपर वो एक्ट करती हैं और उनको फाड़ती हैं. Now an example is a protein that normally holds a DNA degrading endonuclease, जिस तरह हमने पीछे देखा है, which is known as CAD, and in an active form, and its cleavage frees the endonucleases to cut up the DNA in the cell nucleases. ये initiator और executioner जो proteins हैं उनका ये joint action है, and so the apoptosis cell signaling में ये काम आता है, that is the in the cell signaling, intracellular cell signaling that occurs.